Clinical Hypnotherapist Daniel Maresca, and I'm excited to do this video and share a really cool technique with you called core transformation. In other videos and other resources that I provide, I have given you some tools to be able to shift your state, your emotional state. And the way that I like to frame what an emotional state is that it's kind of like if you were to imagine a stool that you could sit on, and a three-legged stool. And if the state is the top where you sit, whether it's a state of anxiety, anxiousness, stress, what have you, whatever it is, that's the top part. Then the three legs below are made up of one, your body. So what's going on in your body, those physical sensations in your body. Two, the focus that you have. So where you're focused with your attention. And then number three is the emotions and images and ideas that are circulating in your mind. And so these three legs of the stool are what kind of prop it up. And in the other videos and resources, I have showed how to change your focus and then also how to change your body. And in this one, I want to show you core transformation. Now, I saved this one till later because the others are a little quicker. It's obvious you can just change your focus by doing something else, right? And I give you tools to do that. And you can change your body by things like your breath and or moving. But to shift your existing emotional state probably feels like a little bit of a leap to go from feeling angry to feeling joyful. And so to close that gap, we've got this amazing technique called core transformation. And it was created by, this is maybe a modified version of what was created by Connie and Stephen Andreas. And they use it in practice, and it works really well to shift how you're feeling in a given moment. So what I'd like you to do today, I'll talk you through how to do it. And so make sure you're in a space where you can go through the process and not be disturbed. So if you need to pause and come back and do this later, that's fine. But if you're good to go, then we can kind of just dive right into the process now. So what I want you to do is to come up with an issue that's present for you right now, that's causing an emotional state, something that's relevant, something that you're experiencing in the last day or two or week, and not something that's absolutely life-changing. Preferably, we start with something a little smaller, but something that's maybe a 6 or a 7 out of 10 in terms of the intensity of that state that you want to move away from. So some ideas, it could be a physical symptom, could be something like that, could be like a migraine or headache or something. Could be a decision that you have to make, and it's creating this state within your body. Could be an issue about work or a relationship. And so take some time right now. You can pause the video if you need to, and come up with an issue that you'd like to work on that maybe rates around a 6 or a 7, maybe an 8, and then go ahead and actually rate that how you feel, the degree of that state that you feel, the intensity of it, with 10 being the most intense. So do that now. Okay, and so now what we're going to do, beneath any symptom that you have, whether it's a behavior or a physical symptom like the headache, or just an emotion, are emotions and beliefs. So they sort of circulate around it. So if you're feeling anxiousness, well, anxiousness isn't really an emotion. It's sort of a state of it's a constellation of different factors, including the body and emotions. And so underneath the symptom are emotions. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to draw out the emotions that are present around this particular state that you're experiencing. Okay, and then we'll after that we're going to go and find the beliefs that might be there as well. Okay, so you've got your issue in mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a sentence and have you complete it for me in your mind. And if you've got paper, you can write it down. We're going to do about 4 each of the emotions and beliefs. So again, if you need to pause real quick and grab paper, do that. And so I'm going to say a sentence, and you'll sort of fill in the blanks and then write down the emotions that come up for you around this issue. All right, so here we go. When I think about your issue, so in your mind, you can repeat this. When I think about whatever it is, I feel so. And then what emotion comes up? Maybe it's not exactly an emotion. Maybe it's a sort of descriptive word like stuck or something, but what comes up? Okay, and we're gonna do that again. We'll do that 4 times. So again, when I think about whatever your issue is, I feel so. And then write down the word. Good. Okay, wonderful. And we'll do it 2 more times. Again, when I think about this issue, I feel so. And write down whatever that feeling is. Okay, do 1 more time for emotions here. All right, when I think about this issue, whatever, or symptom, or thing that I'm dealing with right now, I feel so. Good. All right. So, so those are your emotions that are circulating around that are contributing to this overall state that you're feeling that you want to get out of right now. Now, I should have told you could close your eyes for that. Maybe some of you did. Go ahead and close your eyes though. Now we're going to connect with the beliefs, and beliefs lie underneath the emotions. And these are things that really are sort of foundational to our experience in our relationships with ourselves, others, and life. These beliefs that we have about ourselves and about the world around us. But we're going to look at your beliefs as they relate to this particular issue. Now, a belief is a statement of being. In other words, it's an I am statement. I am. It's almost like you're stating it as fact of your existence. I am unsafe. I am unloved. I am incapable, inadequate. Any of those sort of negative beliefs is what we're trying to draw out. It can be anything like that or other ones, but just understand you're looking for a statement of being. Okay, here we go. So again, you'll fill in the blank and just have your list of words in mind. You might peek at one before closing your eyes again, peek at that first emotion. All right, closing your eyes. When I think about this issue and feel so, whatever that first feeling was, it's because I feel like I am. And then fill in the blank with that belief. Okay, we'll move on. At any point you need to pause it, you can. So again, take a peek at that second feeling that you had written down earlier. Now eyes closed. When I think about this issue, go ahead and say that issue, describe it in your mind. When I think about and feel so, whatever your second feeling word or statement was, it's because I feel like I am, and then a belief about yourself that you would have to have in order to feel that way. Okay. If you need to pause, you can, but we're going to move on again here. Now take a peek at that third feeling word or statement that you have, and then close your eyes. And again, when I think about, fill in the blank with your issue, and I feel so, that third feeling word or statement, it's because I feel like I am, and fill in a belief about yourself related to this. Okay, great. Now we're going to do one more. So we'll have 4 emotions and 4 beliefs. So peek at that fourth emotion or feeling that you had written down, and eyes closed. When I think about and feel so, whatever that fourth feeling, word, or statement was, it's because I feel like I am. And what's that belief? Okay, well done. Now, we're going to, there, with any, as I said, with what a state is, there's this sensation in the body. There's a body component to what is holding up that state. We're going to shift the whole state, as well as the emotions. So I want you to, well, again, with your eyes closed, connect to the space somewhere below your chin and above your waist. And just read that statement, everything you wrote down. If you need to open your eyes to read it, you can, and then close your eyes to connect inward. You're just going to connect to your body and notice what you're feeling in your body and where. Okay, so what you'll just run through everything you said. When I think about this issue and feel so, and then just list all four emotion or feeling words, and feel like I am in all of those beliefs. And then eyes closed, connecting to that body, that space below your chin and above your waist. And notice what you're experiencing and where. Okay, and you can write that down where you feel that in your body. If you want to rate it, if you didn't rate it earlier, you can rate it on a scale of 0 to 10 in terms of the intensity of it. Okay. And so now, what's a one word for what you're experiencing there? What's just one word that describes this feeling? Again, it doesn't have to be an emotion word. It can be two words. That's okay. What describes that, including that sensation that you feel there? You can write that down. And so now, with your eyes closed, whatever you're feeling right now, what would you need? What would this part of you need to feel better than this? So maybe it's for something to be a little different circumstantially. Maybe it's to have the body feel better. Maybe it's, a resource from someone. Whatever it is, if you can conceive of that as something, even though it's not present in your physical reality right now, you can conceive of it in your mind, you can change and step into that. So go ahead and imagine what that would be like, whatever that need is to feel better. Create that scene or image or sensation or feeling in the body right now. You have that power in your mind. So do that now. Eyes closed, and just step into it. When you can feel that fully and completely, you can move on. That's right. Stepping fully and completely into that space of having that need met to help you feel better. Now we're going to move on, but if you need to, you can pause it and spend a little bit more time stepping more into that fully and completely. And so now, what's a word for how you're feeling now? And check in. Things have shifted and changed. What's a word for how you feel now? And whatever it is, go ahead and write that word down underneath the last one. Or just make a note if you're not writing it down. That's okay. Your mental note. Whatever that is, that word, that way of feeling right now, what would feel better than this? Or what would you need to feel better than this? Maybe you need something again to step into a better space, or maybe it's just a matter of, oh, I can make myself feel better and I can create this feeling of whatever that next better feeling is just in my mind. So whatever you need or whatever you want to step into, go ahead and do that now. If you need, feel like you'll need the extra time, you can pause the video and step into that fully and completely. Feel what that feels like in your body and mind. And when you can feel it fully and completely, we'll move on. Now, if you happen to pick something that felt like it was too hard or too big of a leap to make and you can't quite get there, that's okay. What would you need before that? Maybe there's a smaller step that you can take that would still feel better and move you towards where you want. Whatever that is, step into that. Okay. When you're ready, we're going to move on. We'll do that 2 more times. Again, what's a good word for how you're feeling now? Now that you've stepped into that better feeling or that having that thing being met, that need being met to feel better. What's a good word for how you're feeling now? And write that down. And now, what would feel better than this? Now you can see we're working towards what we call a core state. Core state is one of joy, happiness, oneness, wholeness. And you may or may not make it to one of those as I've just described them. You might find your own place that's where you're able to get today, and that's okay. But we're going deeper, if you will, into a core state, which is really your core way of being. We've just got all this confusing stuff going on around that deeper state that's always there available to you. So go ahead and now step into that. What would feel better than this? Right now, if you can conceive of that in your mind, you can step into it. And when you can feel that fully and completely, then you can move on. All right, great. Now, if you need more time, you can pause it. Let's go ahead and move on. And now that you've stepped into that, what's a good word for how you're feeling now? Should start to feel better. Maybe you're moving towards joy or happiness or peace. Maybe you just feel relief. It's all good. And so one more time, what would feel better than this? What would feel better than that? What you're experiencing right now? And I would suggest not overcomplicating any of this. Just step into a better emotion, a better feeling. Because your mind can create it in your body and your experience. So use your mind and step into that. So do that now, step into it. When you can feel this new, better state, better feelings, you can feel it fully and completely, then we'll move on. All right, now you might be stepping into some feelings that feel pretty good and you just want to stay there. If you want to, you can. And you can pause the video and just eyes closed, just swim in that better feeling. And now we're going to move on. And I want you to check in again with what's a good word for what you're experiencing now. It might be the one that you were moving towards. Like if you're moving towards joy and you feel that, then it can be the same one. That's okay. It might be a new word. Whatever it is, you can write that down. And so now with this new state, this new way of being, can you see that within this state is contained all the others that preceded it? Each step that you've taken towards this is contained within this more expansive state, this core state that you've moved to. And just acknowledge that, yeah, I can see how that is. And so now that you have this new way of being, this new state that you just wrote down as a way of being, what will be different for you now in relationship to your issue or symptom that you started with? You could just in your mind just go through, oh, well, in this place of joy, I can see that I don't have to be worried about such and such. Or from this place of peace, I can see that so-and-so is just doing their best. And it's all okay. So just notice how things can be different from this new way of being that you have. And then finally, just check in with that we call your felt sense in the physical body that you found earlier and had written down. And just notice how that's changed. How does that feel now when you think about that issue? Probably feels like there's some kind of shift around it. Okay. We did wonderfully. And so that's the core modified core transformation process. And you can use that anytime you want, anytime. And it doesn't take very long. You can, once you've learned it too, you don't even need to watch the video. You could just implement it on the fly. Just take 15 minutes to yourself and go shift how you feel, just like that. So you have other tools that I've shared with you, shifting your focus, your attention, and your body. And I hope you use them because they can really transform the way you interact with your experience in the world, the way you interact with others, the way you interact with everything that you encounter in your life. So I hope you enjoyed that. I will work on giving you some more resources, and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day or evening, and I'll talk to you soon.